My sister said, "If you won't to babysit 5 kids, don't come." Our parents sided with her. I replied, "Then my $18,000 wasn't invited to Christmas either." I canceled all the travel plans with my sister's family. My phone exploded. "My name is Abby, and I'm 29 years old. I work in digital marketing for a tech company in Seattle. I don't have kids. I like my life the way it is. Work, friends, my own space. I have an older sister named Madison. She's 31. She lives in Portland with her husband Jacob and their 2 kids. Emma is 8 and Ethan is 5. They're good kids. I love them. My parents live in Portland too, not far from Madison's house. Growing up with Madison was complicated. Our parents always preferred her. Always. When I won first place in a state design competition in 10th grade, I came home excited to tell them. My mother barely looked up from her magazine. "That's nice, dear," she said. Then she turned to Madison. "We need to talk about the cheerleading tryouts. I know you didn't make the team, but there's always next year. We'll get you private coaching." Madison hadn't made the cheerleading team. That was the big crisis. My award sat on the kitchen counter for 2 days before I took it to my room. Nobody ever asked to see it. It was always like that. Madison got the attention, the praise, the focus. I was just there. When Madison got Abby in math, it was a celebration. When I got straight A's, it was expected. When Madison wanted to go to summer camp, our parents took extra shifts to pay for it. When I asked about a summer program for design students, they said we couldn't afford it. I learned early that I was on my own. So I went to college on scholarships, worked part-time jobs, and moved to Seattle after graduation. I built my own life. I set boundaries with my family. I loved my nephews. But my relationship with Madison had been distant for years. 2 months before Christmas, Madison called me. It was a Saturday afternoon, and I was at a coffee shop working on a freelance project. "Hey, Abby, how are you?" She sounded excited about something. Madison only called when she wanted something. "I'm good, what's up?" "I've been thinking about Christmas. I want to do something special this year. Something the kids will remember forever. I want to take everyone to Aspen. To a luxury ski resort. We'd rent a private chalet with a hot tub. The kids could take skiing lessons. We'd have a special visit from Santa Claus. It would be perfect." "That sounds nice. The thing is, Jacob's bonus was smaller than we expected. We don't have enough money for the whole trip. I was hoping you could help." There it was, the ask. "How much help are we talking about?" "If you could cover the resort booking, the flights and the activities, that would be amazing. We'll handle food and other expenses." I thought about it. Christmas at a ski resort with my nephews sounded fun. I hadn't spent much time with Emma and Ethan lately. Work had been busy. "I'll pay for everything," I said. "The whole trip. Consider it my Christmas gift to the family." Madison squealed, "Really? Oh my God, Abby, thank you. This is going to be incredible." Over the next few weeks, I arranged everything according to her specifications. She sent me a list of requirements. The chalet had to have at least 4 bedrooms. The hot tub had to be private. She wanted first-class plane tickets. She wanted a specific ski school for the kids. She wanted a reservation at the best restaurant on the mountain. I booked it all. First-class flights for 6 people. The nicest chalet at the resort, $5,000 for 3 nights. Ski lessons for Emma and Ethan. A private Santa visit. Dinner reservations. An SUV rental for getting around. Equipment rentals. Dog sledding with huskies. Everything Madison had dreamed about. The total came to nearly $15,000. It was a lot of money, but I'd been saving and I wanted to do something nice for my nephews. They deserved a special Christmas. A few days before Christmas, I was at work finishing up projects before the holiday break when Madison called again. "I have amazing news. My best friend Olivia and her family are joining us. Her kids are so excited. This is going to be even better than I thought." I stopped typing. "Wait, what?" "Olivia's family, her husband, and their 3 kids. They'll come to Aspen with us. Isn't that great?" "Madison, I didn't book for that many people." "Oh, I know. They'll figure out their own accommodation, but the kids can all hang out together. There will be 5 kids total now. And Jacob is so happy because you'll be able to watch all of them. Olivia and I can actually relax and enjoy ourselves for once." I felt my jaw tighten. Excuse me? You'll watch the kids. You know, keep an eye on them while we ski or go to the spa. It'll be fun for you. You don't have your own kids, so this will be good practice. Madison, I'm not coming as a babysitter. Don't be dramatic, you're their aunt. It's not babysitting, it's family time. I'm not watching 5 kids so you and your friend can go to the spa. If you need help with the children, I'll pay for a professional babysitter at the resort. I don't trust outside babysitters. You should do it because you're family. Olivia and I just want to relax. Is that too much to ask? Yes, it is. I'm not agreeing to this. I hung up. My hands were shaking. I stared at my computer screen, not seeing it. Madison expected me to pay $15,000 and then work as a free nanny for 5 kids. She didn't even ask, she just assumed. Half an hour later, my phone buzzed. A text from Madison. If you don't want to help with the kids, then don't come. We'll have a great time without you. I read it 3 times. Don't come to the trip I paid for. The trip I'd spent weeks arranging. The trip that cost me $15,000. I typed a response. I'm not a babysitter. I'm happy to pay for professional childcare if you need it. Her response came immediately. You're so selfish and cold, we're family. You should help, because that's what family does. You'd be better with the kids than some stranger anyway. But fine. Stay home. We don't need you. I put my phone down and stared at the wall. Madison had told me not to come. To the vacation I paid for. The vacation where she expected me to be an unpaid babysitter for 5 children. I thought about our childhood. How I'd always been invisible while Madison got everything. How I'd learned to rely on myself because my family never supported me. How I'd left home and built a life on my own terms. I'd agreed to this trip for Emma and Ethan. Because I loved my nephews. But Madison had turned it into something else. She'd used me again. I made a decision. The next morning I woke up early and opened my laptop. I pulled up all the confirmation emails, the resort booking, the flight reservations, the SUV rental, the ski equipment, the restaurant reservation, the dog sledding tour. Everything was in my name. Everything was paid for with my credit card. I started canceling the resort first. I called their booking line and explained I needed to cancel the reservation. They charged me a cancellation fee of $800. I paid it. Then the flights. First-class tickets weren't fully refundable, but I got about 60% back. I lost around $2,000. The SUV rental, the ski equipment reservations, the restaurant reservation, the dog sledding tour, the Santa visit. Everything is about $3,000 in cancellation fees, but I'd gotten most of my money back. More importantly, I'd gotten my self-respect back. I didn't tell Madison. I didn't send a message or call. I just let her find out on her own. 2 days before Christmas, my phone started ringing at 11 at night. Madison. I didn't answer. She called 3 more times. I turned my phone on silent and went to sleep. The next morning, Christmas Eve, my phone woke me up at 5 in the morning. Dozens of missed calls. Dozens of texts. I made coffee and read through them. Hey, the airline is asking for confirmation. Can you send me the confirmation number? Abby, I need the booking info. We're leaving in a few hours. Why aren't you answering? Then, 2 hours later, a message from the airport. We're at check-in and they're saying there's no reservation. What's going on? I could track her realization through the messages. But confusion, then the dawning understanding, then the anger. You canceled everything. You actually canceled everything. How could you do this? You're punishing innocent children. You're destroying this family over a stupid argument. The kids are crying. I hope you're happy. I put my phone down and went about my day. I did some work, went to the gym, came home and made lunch. Around 2 in the afternoon, I finally responded. I sent one message. You told me not to come, so I figured my money wasn't invited either. Madison's response was immediate. You're a horrible person. You're cruel and vindictive. Then, an hour later, her tone changed. Okay, I'm sorry, I overreacted. Can you please rebook everything? I'll apologize properly later. Just please fix this. Another message, I'll pay you back, I promise. Just give me your card details and I'll book everything myself. I didn't respond. Then my parents started calling. I watched my phone light up with their names. I didn't answer. I knew why they were calling. Madison had contacted them, told them what happened. And now they were going to yell at me. I laughed a little. My parents never called just to check on me. Never asked how I was doing, how work was going, if I was happy. But the moment Madison had a problem, suddenly they remembered I existed. Half an hour later, the text started. My mother, call us immediately. What you've done to your sister is unacceptable. My father, you need to fix this situation right now. Book everything for Madison again. My mother, you're being an egoist. You're a terrible daughter. You're destroying this family. My father, I raised you better than this. You should be ashamed. I read them all and smiled. I didn't respond to any of them. Over the next few days, I heard through cousins and aunts what had happened to Madison's family. Jacob had decided to drive to Aspen anyway. He thought they could just show up at the resort and book rooms on the spot with a credit card. But it was Christmas. Everything was fully booked. And the drive from Portland to Aspen was 14 hours. The kids hated it. They cried and fought in the back seat. Madison and Jacob argued the whole way. They ended up at a roadside motel somewhere in Wyoming. It had thin walls and a flickering TV. Madison and Jacob kept fighting. She blamed him for the failed trip. He blamed her for taking me for granted. Christmas morning, Madison had enough. She took the kids and called a taxi to take them to the nearest town with an airport. The taxi cost over $400. They flew home on standby tickets, sitting in differ rows because nothing else was available. They spent Christmas not at a luxury resort, but scattered across an airplane then. Back at their house with no special dinner, no presents under a tree, nothing. Meanwhile, I drove to the Cascade Mountains with 3 of my friends. We'd rented a modern cabin with floor-to-ceiling windows, a huge fireplace, and a private hot tub on the deck. We'd booked it months ago for a girls' trip. We cooked a turkey together, drank wine from Napa Valley, listened to jazz on the stereo. At night we sat in the hot tub with glasses of Prosecco, looking up at the stars. The air was cold, but the water was hot, and everything was perfect. No crying children. No unreasonable demands. No family drama. Just peace and friendship. I deliberately kept my phone off the entire time. I knew what was waiting for me. More messages from Madison, more anger from my parents. I didn't want to deal with it during my vacation. On December 25th, after lunch, I finally turned my phone back on. It took 5 minutes for all the messages to download. My mother, you are no longer our daughter. Don't contact us again. My father, what you've done is unforgivable. You're dead to us. Madison, you've ruined my life. I'll never forgive you. I read through them all and shrugged. I didn't understand how canceling a vacation I paid for somehow ruined Madison's life. But that was her problem, not mine. I spent the rest of the holiday week at the cabin with my friends. We went hiking, played board games, watched movies by the fireplace. It was exactly what I needed. No stress, no drama, just good people who actually valued my company. When I got back to Seattle after New Year's, I thought about the messages from my family. My parents saying I was no longer their daughter. Madison saying I'd ruined her life. All because I'd refused to be used. I didn't feel guilty. I felt free. I'd spent my whole life trying to earn my family's approval. Trying to be good enough, successful enough, generous enough. It was never enough. They still preferred Madison. They still took me for granted. Now they'd cut me off, and honestly, it was a relief. I didn't have to pretend anymore. I didn't have to play the role of the backup daughter, the one who paid for things but didn't get the attention. I went back to work, focused on my projects, spent time with friends. Life went on. I didn't hear from Madison or my parents. The silence was nice. 3 weeks after Christmas, my phone rang. It was a Portland number I recognized. Jacob. I almost didn't answer, but Jacob had always been decent to me. He wasn't the problem in this mess. Hello? Abby, it's Jacob. Do you have a minute? I need to apologize. For Madison's behavior. For mine. For all of it. I didn't say anything, waiting for him to continue. We used you. I know that now. Madison built up this fantasy Christmas in her head, and when you agreed to pay for it, she just kept pushing for more. I should have stopped her. I should have said something. But I didn't, and I'm sorry. Okay. The thing is, I've been looking at our finances. Really looking at them. Madison's been spending way more than we make. Credit cards maxed out, expenses I didn't even know about. We're in debt. Jacob, you don't need to tell me this. I know, but I want you to understand. I had a serious talk with Madison about her behavior and about living within our means. I canceled all her credit cards. I'm managing the family finances now. No more spending money we don't have. That sounds like a good plan. And Madison got a job at Starbucks. She's working as a barista. For days a week, mornings after she drops the kids at school. I tried not to smile. Madison working at Starbucks. Madison, who'd spent the last 8 years as a stay-at-home mom, who posted perfectly, curated photos on Instagram, who acted like she was too good for regular work. How's that going? I asked. She hates it. She complains every day. But we need the money, and she needs to understand that money doesn't just appear. You can't expect other people to fund your lifestyle. No, you can't. I'm really sorry, Abby. For everything. The kids miss you. They keep asking when Aunt Abby is coming to visit. Tell them I miss them too. Your parents are still angry. Madison too. But I think they're wrong. You had every right to cancel that trip. Madison treated you terribly. Thanks for saying that. I'll send you photos of the kids, videos too if you want. I know you care about them. I'd like that. We hung up. I sat there thinking about the conversation. Madison working at Starbucks. Madison having to live within a budget. Madison losing her credit cards. For Madison, that probably did feel like her life was ruined. She'd gotten used to spending freely doing what she wanted, relying on other people's money. My money specifically. Now she had to work. She had to earn her own income. She had to face reality. It was the best possible outcome. Over the next few months, Jacob texted me regularly. He sent photos of Emma and Ethan at school events, videos of them playing in the yard, updates on their lives. He never asked for money. He never hinted that they needed help. He just kept me connected to my nephews. I appreciated it. I loved those kids. I wanted to be part of their lives. But I didn't want to be Madison's ATM. Madison and I didn't communicate at all. Neither did my parents. The silence continued, and I was fine with it. My life was calmer without their demands and criticism. At work, I got promoted to senior marketing manager. My boss said I'd been doing excellent work, that my campaigns were driving real results. I got a significant raise and a bigger team to manage. I bought a new car, something I'd been putting off. I booked a trip to Japan for the spring. I treated myself to things I'd been denying myself because I'd been sending money to my family instead. One evening, I was having dinner with my friend Rachel. She'd been at the cabin for Christmas and knew the whole story. Have you heard anything from your family? She asked. Just from Jacob. He sends me pictures of the kids. What about your sister? Nothing. She's working at Starbucks now. Jacob said she hates it. Rachel laughed. Good, she deserves it. I just feel bad for the kids. They didn't do anything wrong. But you're staying in touch with them through Jacob, right? Yeah, he's been great about keeping me updated. Then the kids are fine. They have their dad. They have you at a distance. They don't need Madison's drama. She was right. Emma and Ethan would be okay. They had a father who was finally taking responsibility. They had an aunt who loved them, even from afar. Spring came. I took my trip to Japan like I'd planned. 2 weeks in Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka. I walked through temples, ate incredible food, stayed in a traditional ryokan with hot spring baths. I sent postcards to a few friends but didn't post much on social media. I was just living my life, not performing it. When I got back, there was a package waiting at my apartment. Inside were drawings from Emma and Ethan. Emma had drawn a picture of our family, including me. Ethan had made a card that said, "I miss you, Aunt Abby," with a backwards end Jacob had included. A note saying the kids had made these on their own, wanting to send something to their aunt. I put the drawings on my refrigerator. I texted Jacob a photo and thanked him. He wrote back that the kids would be thrilled to know I'd kept them. That's how our relationship worked now. Jacob would send updates, photos, videos. Sometimes he'd call and put the kids on the phone. I'd talk to Emma about school, ask Ethan about his toys. We'd chat for a few minutes, and then they'd run off to play, and Jacob would get back on. Madison still doesn't know I'm in touch with you, he said once. Does that bother you? Not really. She made her choice. You're the kid's aunt. You love them. Why should they lose that relationship because Madison was selfish? How is she doing? Still working at Starbucks. Still complaining. But she's getting used to it. We're slowly paying down our debt. Another year or so and we'll be in better shape. That's good. Your parents ask about you sometimes. What do they say? Your mom asks Madison if you've reached out. Madison always says no. Your dad doesn't say much. I think they're embarrassed but too proud to admit they were wrong. They won't hear from me first. I figured, can't say I blame you. Work continued to go well. My team launched a campaign that went viral, bringing in thousands of new customers. My boss took me out to lunch and hinted at another promotion in the future. I was making more money than I'd ever made, and I was spending it on myself for once. I went to concerts. I bought art for my apartment. I invested in retirement accounts. I donated to charities I cared about. The money that used to go to funding Madison's lifestyle was now going to things that actually mattered to me. My friends noticed the change in me. I was lighter, happier, less stressed. I wasn't constantly checking my phone for demands from my family. I wasn't carrying the weight of their expectations and disappointments. You seem different, Rachel said at brunch one Sunday, more relaxed. I feel different. It's like I've been carrying this heavy bag my whole life and I finally put it down. No regrets about Christmas? None. Best decision I ever made. Summer arrived. Jacob sent me a video of Emma's soccer game. She scored a goal and the camera panned to show Jacob cheering in the stands. Madison was there too, wearing her Starbucks apron. She must have come straight from work. I watched the video 3 times. Emma looked happy. Ethan was playing in the grass nearby, chasing butterflies. They were okay. They had what they needed. That's all I'd ever wanted. For the kids to be okay. Madison and my parents could stay angry forever if they wanted. It didn't change the fact that I loved my nephews and they loved me. One evening in July, I was at a work event and networking mixer for marketing professionals. I was talking to a woman from another company when she asked about my family. Do you have siblings? A sister. We don't really talk. That's too bad. What happened? I could have given her the long version. But I'd learned that not everyone needed to know the whole story. She expected me to fund her lifestyle. I stopped. She didn't like it. The woman nodded knowingly. I had a brother like that. Always borrowing money, never paying it back. I finally cut him off too. Do you regret it? Not for a second. Some people will take everything you give and still ask for more. You have to protect yourself. She was right. That's exactly what Madison had done. Take everything, ask for more, offer nothing in return. I protected myself. I'd set a boundary. And my life was better for it. A year after that Christmas, Jacob sent me a message. Emma's birthday is next month. She wants to know if you'll come to her party. I thought about it. It would mean seeing Madison, probably my parents too. It would be awkward and uncomfortable. But it was Emma's birthday. She wanted me there. I'll be there, I texted back. It's Emma's day. I can handle a few hours of tension for her. She'll be so excited. I didn't know what would happen at that party. If Madison would ignore me or confront me. If my parents would speak to me or pretend I didn't exist. It didn't matter. I was going for Emma, not for them. I'd spent my whole childhood trying to earn my family's love. I'd spend years giving them money, support, attention. It was never enough. They still preferred Madison. They still took me for granted. Now I'd stopped trying. I'd stopped giving. I'd stopped caring about their approval. And for the first time in my life, I was truly free. I had a career I loved. Friends who valued me. Nephews who made me cards and missed me. A life built on my own terms. Madison could keep her anger. My parents could keep their disappointment. It didn't touch me anymore. I paid $15,000 for a total. It was the best money I'd ever spent. Because it bought me something more valuable than any trip. It bought me my freedom. I looked at Emma's drawings on my refrigerator, at Ethan's backwards, and in Aunt Abby, and smiled. This was my family now. The people who loved me for who I was, not what I could give them. The people who valued my presence, not my wallet. And that was more than enough. I opened my laptop and started looking at flights to Portland for Emma's birthday party. Whatever happened there, I'd handle it. I was stronger now. I knew my worth. And I'd never let anyone make me forget it again.